Good morning, good evening, wherever you are in the world, beautiful human.
Hello.
As you can see, the other hello wasn't from me. It was from my boyfriend slash unofficial husband, Tomash.
Hmm.
And honestly, if you're listening to this, it means I overcame and we overcame so much judgment, fears, and all the other goodies that were preventing us from actually recording this podcast. So I would like to celebrate us. And I would like to celebrate you for tuning in and for being curious and for looking for and seeking and attracting things that might help you to feel even a little bit better today about yourself and your life, because that's the point of this podcast called What is Life with
Hmm.
Martina. And actually, we're recording this episode before my intro episode because it's just easier. We're always together, and I keep finding time when I can be alone and record the first episode, which would be my story and my why behind creating this podcast, which has been in the making for like 47 times. But enough about me. Today I decided to invite my boyfriend Tomash to have a conversation because one thing we do really well for the last 6 years together, 24/7, is to have really powerful conversations. And they allow us to connect to ourselves, to each other. And sometimes they start with a conflict and end with a really much stronger connection than before. Sometimes they just give us hope. Sometimes they make us feel better about each other, more grateful for life we live, even though it's not perfect, like anything or nothing. And
Sometimes they make us feel worse in a present moment, but
sometimes,
good in the long run.
yeah, honestly, the most important thing is just that we enjoyed so much. And so many times I'm like, dude, this should have been recorded. This could have been podcast. So
And it
we just
couldn't.
decided to finally chill.
And it couldn't.
It
But
could
now it can.
now it can. And finally the time has come. Also, we are sitting on our beautiful terrace. We are in Vietnam, where we moved 2 months ago. We are in our room in Hoi An, overlooking beautiful river, palm trees, and we are inside of the trees crowns, which is like ultimate location for us to thrive in. So maybe if there's a wind or some sounds, which shouldn't be because I have really good mics, but if there's some sound, then sorry for that. Laska, every time you play with that, it's creating
I
sounds.
know, so I just wanted to say that there will be sounds. But now I guess I put it in a way that it's comfy for me, so it
Okay,
might be okay.
all right. If you are here from Magnetic Couples Bracelets website or Instagram, then welcome. This is the opportunity for you to get to know us as a couple behind Magnetic Couples Bracelets a little bit more. We are real people with a real love, with authentic stories and connection that we share with the world since 2020. And we would love to take you behind the scenes of a relationship that is not perfect, but is so fucking fulfilling and supporting our evolution as individuals and as a couple. So, yes, my love.
I think actually it is perfect. Or what is perfect?
Yeah, it's exactly what we need
Yeah.
and what we have needed since we met. And that's where I would like to actually start. So, I would like to start sharing our story because so many people email us that they love our story that is on our website. And maybe if you haven't read it, maybe you just came to this podcast randomly, then we would like to share our story because it's really powerful and we love it and we love to talk about it because it's just magical. Yeah, so I'm Martina.
Hello.
Hello, this is Tomash. And actually, we used to date in high school first. It was 2009, I think around June or July, and we had one. No, actually, it was in August, 2009. It was 1 week or one weekend before I went and left for 1 year for an exchange student, thing, high school in Michigan in the US. We are from Slovakia, and we went to the same high school. And I remember the moment I saw you, baby, for the first time. You were on a hallway, the connecting hallway between two buildings. And you were wearing a red shirt. You were like a big hip hopper, a rapper. And I just saw him, and I will say it, you reminded me of the really famous rapper Rytmus from Slovakia. And I was like, wow, this guy looks like him. But it's, you always ask me, was it because you like the Rytmus? And I just reminded, I don't care. Whatever it was, it took my attention to you, right? Life.
She wanted to be with Rytmus, but she settled for me.
Yeah. You are Rytmus Zvishu.
Lucky me.
And yeah, this was early on in my first year. You were in a junior. I was a sophomore. He was a junior in our high school. And I saw him and I'm like, ooh, hello. And then somehow your friend connected us, blah, blah, blah. Few months have passed. And then finally we started to be together. But it was not the right time for the first time. We had an amazing weekend or a week. And then I had to leave to the US. And we kind of stayed in touch, but I started to be super jealous because I could see on your Facebook how other girls are commenting on your pictures and on your status. And dude, it really created so much bad feelings for me that I blocked you on Facebook. And then the year passed. I had other boyfriends in the US. And 1 year later, I came back. And actually, we somehow got connected again. And we spent another week together in 2010. Again, it was, I think, June. But then, what happened, baby?
Then I went to the US.
Why?
For a summer, for like a work and travel program. So I was there for like 3 months or 4 months, I would say. And again, we were not able to somehow keep it together during that time because again it was not the right time. So, and I'm honestly grateful for that because it's like I don't know, at least like in my life, like I think it was important for me to, I guess not fall in love in high school and just be with like one person or two or three, whatever, like my entire life. But I needed, I guess, to have those experiences to be with other people and, be single at some point and just, just going through that. So honestly, I'm grateful because I can't honestly imagine, like I have friends that like are like high school sweethearts and they, been together since they're 16 or something. But I honestly, I can't imagine that. I think like I'm grateful that I was able to also experience something else. So
Yeah, maybe they are the ones who are getting divorced now or like breaking up, right?
whatever they are having, like it doesn't matter. Like it's like everybody's having their own experience they need. But I'm just saying that for me, like I'm grateful that we didn't like ended up immediately together because who knows, probably it wouldn't even be possible to be together like we are now. So
Yeah.
so I don't feel like that it was time wasted or that we could have been together since then
No.
or something like that. Like I feel
No.
opposite. Like I'm really grateful that like we both had our own individual experiences and then eventually we got together and like it was absolutely perfect timing for
Yeah.
me and I think also for you. And and then we don't even know how, but we created magnetic couples bracelets and we ended up in Bali after dating like what?
But
Like
wait,
4
you are
months.
going too fast.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, so just like he said, we needed to experience life without each other. But we got the taste of what could be. And it was really beautiful. Remember those few days
Yeah, it was
each
incredible.
year? Oh
Yeah.
my God. It
And
was really the highlights of our year.
yeah, because like usually when it's new and when like the relationship starts, like it's really amazing. Like like you don't even have time to argue. You just like in some kind of ecstasy or something
Yeah,
in
in
the
a bubble.
beginning. So yeah, so it was perfect, to be honest.
But what we didn't say yet is that after he went to the US in 2010, we didn't see or text or hear from each other or know anything about each other for 12 years, guys.
We knew a very little bit.
Very little bit.
Very little bit. Like I knew that you are in Dubai, and
I knew you were in
I
Prague.
think that's all I knew.
Mm.
And I think I remember that at some point somebody told me that you are dating some rich guy there. So I remember that I just kind of felt like that. Okay, well I guess that's it.
But also, even though you said that's it, you told me something about all those years.
What did I tell you?
You know what you told me.
No, I don't know.
The part that you always had me on your mind in the back of the head and somehow always thought that I'm the person, or at least like the idea of what you would like your girlfriend to be one day, or your partner. No? Does it still stand? You're smiling like you made it up and now you have to admit it was a lie.
I'm thinking if I was drunk when I was saying it or
No.
something. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, yeah, like you came across my mind maybe like once a year in those 12 years.
Oh, please.
No, seriously.
Really?
Maybe 3 times per 2 years.
Oh my god.
Like in this
Okay.
constellation that you just said. Like yeah, I mean, when I don't know, it's hard to like now say how many times or what, but yeah, I was like thinking about you time to time. I guess
I was
when
thinking about you
I
too.
guess when I was not really happy about, I guess maybe my relationships, or maybe when I was alone. I don't know. I don't remember, to be honest, like specifically like the moments, but I did. Yeah, I think I was thinking about you. Not like again, like not like every week or every month, but like once or
Yeah.
twice per year. I did. You came across my mind. So
Yeah.
yes, that's true.
I would just like to add one more thing about the
Hmm.
beginning. So, when I was 14, I met my very first boyfriend, like a proper one, which is actually our mutual friend. And we even went for a walk last summer. It was such a beautiful moment.
Yeah.
But I want to say, like, he broke up with me because he found some texts that I was texting with Tomash, actually. So Tomash was the reason my first relationship ended, or like I was the reason, but Tomash helped it. His charm was irresistible for little Martina. And yeah, so it's really powerful. It created a big heartbreak and feelings of guilt for me. But, anyways, just like you said, you had those big three girlfriends. I had a little bit of more than that boyfriends in between, which is again my experience and what I needed in order to kind of get it all out of my system and probably like be ready for you and not wonder like maybe I could have tried that or I could have done that and I could have been, with that person. I feel like I was with absolutely enough amount of people to realize that I guess I'm ready for a proper guy because I kind of attracted really unavailable people. I lived in Dubai for 6 years and I was attracted to like darker guys, but they would always be Muslim and then it wouldn't be possible for the future. And I knew I wouldn't stay in Dubai forever. So it was kind of like in between. I never really thought about future with any guy before you. It's really interesting. And also, one thing I wanted to share is that it's crazy what I'm going to say now.
Is
But
it?
yeah, last year in Dubai, which was 2019 and 20, I was dating someone else, really, really cool guy, but I still had these visions. I visited Thailand twice in 2015 and 2019. And ever since I did in 2018, for some reason, I knew that that's how I want to live. I literally have even Instagram stories about like taking picture of the little room with the bike and a hammock and like this is how I'm going to live one day. And also for some reason I had a vision that I'm going to live. I thought it would be like island what I saw was Koh Phangan in Thailand, which we haven't been yet to. We lived in Bali for 4 years, and now we are in Vietnam, and we probably will go to Thailand as well at some point. But I knew I'm gonna be there with my partner one day. We will have a business together, and we will just live in Asia. I fucking knew it. I saw it all the time in front of my eyes, and I kept thinking, how? But how? How is this possible? How am I gonna meet this person in an island? How can this happen? Not knowing that it would eventually happen with Tomashko. Like really mindfuck. So yeah. And then the years passed from 2010 until 2020. And what happened, baby? Can you say that part?
Yeah, for sure. So it was the time of Corona, and basically how it was for me was that when it all started and everything was on lockdown, I felt like I was in the Prague, in Czech Republic at that moment, and I felt like there's nothing to do there for me. I was already basically working online, so I could go anywhere, and I felt like that it's time to go home because I didn't spend much time at home since basically high school, and I always went home for like a couple days, maybe a week, but I never been there longer, and I felt like that I can be there, I can go to the nature, and I can go outside, and I can maybe be with my family and with my friends and so on, and so I felt like going home because yeah, like we were just closed in apartments in Prague, and
And you
it
also
wasn't
just
really.
recently broke up at that point, no?
It was already like a year, I would
Uh
say,
huh.
so it wasn't
After like five
recently.
years relationship,
Yeah,
no?
something like that. So yeah, so I felt like going home. I thought that it's because of the family and friends and nature, and I just felt like really restricted in Prague because it was just like not much to do there, and also it started to be spring and it started to be nice weather, and I wanted to be outside because I just love to be outside and nature and everything. So I felt like, okay, I'm gonna go home, and then I was there for like 4 months or something or
Mm-hmm.
5, and then I met you basically, like re-met, or how to say it, like
I'll say that part.
no, I'll say how it was for me, okay? Because
Okay,
you
but you cannot just jump into meeting me.
but like it's also challenging for me to let you speak your story. I mean, not your story, but the story your way, because it happens so much differently for me. So I think you will need to go through the same thing and let me speak it my way.
Okay.
um, but I'll circle back to the things that I feel like that are important, and you can always ask me question if you want me to say something more about something.
Okay.
So yeah, so I went back home, and I was living with my friend, and it was really nice time because yeah, I was with my family and friends after a long time for a longer period, and it was cool. And then I kind of felt like that, you know I was alone for quite some time, and I kind of felt like that it's time to maybe have a girlfriend again, because I never had like a big periods of time in my life when I was alone, where I didn't have girlfriend. Like it always somehow happened for me. And then what happened was that I was working out with my friend in a park in our hometown, and then he told me that you, Maćka, is in town, that like you are there, and I can't really explain the feeling, but I'm gonna try. So at that moment, I started to be like super, super excited. And I just kind of like, I don't know, like on one hand, I just knew that we're gonna be together. But at the same time, I felt like, no, that cannot be. Like it was like too big of an expectation and too like big of a thing to just like blindly trust it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I wanted it to be like that, but at the same time, like I couldn't believe that it's even possible. Like, I didn't know like that you would be interested in something like
You
that, or
didn't know the
like
how.
I know I had no idea, but I just felt super excited about that you are there, and I just knew that I need to like get in touch with you, and that I want to just take you out and to just chat and to just see. But at the same time, I had this feeling that I just knew that something is gonna happen, and
Mm-hmm.
and it was like really, 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 really strong feeling, and it was so strong that it was hard to even believe that. So, but
Yeah.
it was incredible. It was really, really amazing feeling, and I was super excited at, and yeah, and I was also, I guess, maybe a little bit scared that I will be disappointed that it's not gonna happen. So I didn't want it to somehow, um,
Create
yeah,
expectations.
create big expectations, even though I guess I did. Um, but I just knew. I just knew. I don't know how to say it, but I just
Well,
knew.
like your intuition or
Yeah,
whatever kind of was like, boop.
yeah. So that's how it happened for me, and then you can take over with
Yeah.
with your stories.
So part, my experience leading up to that moment was that I was basically working in Dubai as a project manager for events and okay,
Sorry.
that's okay. So it was about supervising hostesses and hosts for events. And sometimes it was 20 people, sometimes 30 people, sometimes 3, sometimes I would do the job myself as well. And it was absolutely a dream job that I loved so much. I worked a lot, but I loved it. And I remember when this corona came out, like all of my jobs for May and April started to get canceled. This was in March. And I was like, ooh, okay, what's happening? And then I think, like you, within a month, I realized that it's, just a bullshit. So I was chill. I was just chilling. And actually, I had last 3 months because I came back to Slovakia 27th June 2020. And the last 3 months, since it was super big lockdown, like couldn't go outside without permission from police on the app in Dubai. You had to say like where are you going, how long you're gonna be there. It was like really strict, and it was like really exciting for me because I love this kind of shit that is like, what? This is a movie. And what we did with my friends, group of friends, girlfriends, it was me, Bengisu, Sandy, Nancy, and Belinda, 5 of us. We moved to Sandy's 1 bedroom apartment and we kind of squatted there for like weeks. It was amazing. It was the best fucking months of my life there in Dubai. And I didn't know it would be my last 3 months, you know what I mean? I just thought it's like this extreme situation and I'll go home for a few months, and the events that I was doing, it would be the last area of, business that would open if this was about me, people and big groups of people couldn't be in one place. That's exactly what events are about. So I thought it would be like 6 months, 7 months, whatever. And yeah, they even threw me like a see you later party the last day. It was so cool because I always wanted to have that, and nobody ever threw a party. And it was like, imagine these girls together. One of us was like exercising, another one was I was baking bread. Each of us had like a different era. Another one was coloring the color books, and it was just so much fun, dude. Like, I would love to live like that one day. But now all my friends are there. So, anyways, and then I came home, and I had to be in a quarantine for 5 days until 2nd July, and then it was my birthday, July 9th. And our friend, the one that told Tomash that I'm at home, I'm in our hometown, Banská Bystrica in Slovakia, he called me for birthday. He was like, happy birthday. Oh, and by the way, Tomash is in town. And my actually feeling was a little bit different than you, like a lot of different, because I had all of these stories that I created about Tomash to protect me from missing him and from being hurt. I really created this story from all this jealousy and based on the pain that we couldn't be together, that he has his own life in the US and all of these things. Like, I was just a little girl who just wanted to be loved, and it didn't happen. So I told myself Tomasz is a dick. And when he told me, and I lived with this forever because it would therefore not allow me to even think of him as an option, which we probably normally do. It's normal, right? With people we cannot be with, even though it might not necessarily be true. Like, he's not a dick, obviously. But that's what I told
Or is
myself.
he?
No, he's not. He's a little pampushy. He's a little pappy pappy. And so, when he told me that you are in town, I was like, okay, so, so what? Like, what is this information? Like, thanks. Okay, bye. And then 2 days later, or 1 day later, July 10th, 2020, you sent me a friend request on Facebook because, I blocked him and unfriended him in 2010 when he was in the US, and I saw all these Jane and Haley and all the other girls that you would hang out with. I was like, oh my God, he doesn't care about me. Okay, bye. And yeah, then you sent a friend request, and I remember it so well. I was sitting in the middle of our sofa in the living room in my apartment with my parents, and I was like, this is happening. Okay. And then I messaged you immediately. And I think I said, like, what did I say?
I don't know.
I said,
don't
like,
think it's important
we are
for me.
friends. Okay, that's it. Or something. I don't remember. But we have it on our website. There's a screenshot of the conversation.
Yeah.
And so we started talking. And that day I was supposed to go on a lake, like a trip with my friend who canceled. He went to the town beach that I couldn't bring my puppy because meanwhile I got a puppy from my mom in those 10 days, and so much was happening.
Are you sure? Because
100%.
I was supposed to go on a lake trip
Yeah,
and
and
I took you.
yeah, but I was supposed to go. It got canceled, and then you offered me second time that day
Okay.
that you want to go for a date on a lake or just go to the lake, like chill, like no date, just like, hey, you want to hang out, like whatever. And I was like, you know what? Okay, yeah. And you said you want to go with your friends, but they are not sure.
They
And then
came later.
They came later, and then I was like, okay, let's go. And I got ready. I took the puppy, and then we met in front of Sun Cafe, which was like a place we spent a lot of time after that, just talking. And oh my God, I remember when I saw you, I got out of the car and I tried to play it cool. I was like this, poker face. I don't give a fuck, really cool. Like not Veco in Slovak, girl who doesn't really care. Like,
What does it mean?
like
You
I
have to
couldn't
translate.
So basically, inside, my heart was pounding. I was so nervous because, like, obviously, inside, I like you forever. But outside, I learned that I cannot show it because it's a weakness. I have to be, like, cool and not really show my emotions that much because, whatever.
I don't know. I want to know. Like, well, where did you learn it? And like,
Well, I
don't
get hurt.
understand.
I got hurt a lot of times in my life. And that's a story that I basically unlearned with you last 6 years, as you know, that emotions are bad and showing true emotions can make you look vulnerable and therefore open for disappointment or pain, because if others know how you really feel, then you are not under control of the situation. That was the scary part for me. And so I tried to play cool
For like a 15 seconds, and then you were laughing for next 4 hours.
for the next 6 years, you mean? Yeah. But you told me about this moment that you saw me playing cool and you actually wanted to kiss me, but you didn't because of that. I
That's
cock
true.
blocked you with my own story and game.
You kiss blocked me.
I kiss blocked you. And
Yeah, I mean, I was like, for me, like it was really exciting to just meet you, and with all those feelings that I had, like towards you, that came out of nowhere.
yeah.
Yeah, like for me, it felt like, you know, it felt like I'm being reunited with, I don't know, somebody I love and always did and never had any problem with. And every time we spent time together, it was just incredible and amazing. And yeah, and
You didn't create these protection
No.
strategies for yourself. So you
No.
were really open and honest and
no. So that's why
Yeah.
since I heard that you are in the town, and you know, like I was so excited, and yeah, and I was thinking about it, that like when I see you, that I would just immediately kiss you. But then when I saw that you are looking like a baked potato that was on a cold air for too long and dried up, then I was like, okay, I guess it's not a good idea to do so. So I had to wait for another, I don't know, 10 hours or 12.
well, that's quite a little time.
Yeah, it was okay.
Yeah, and then
But I had that idea to do that.
so we got into the car. I put the dog between your legs, or you were holding him. We even had to stop on a gas station to make him pee.
Yeah.
because he was like 8 weeks old. So cute, little Theo, my mom's dog. And I remember I was so micro scanning you. First of all, I'm like, I remember it, guys. Like, I'm in there. I know what you were wearing. You were wearing the Rasta shorts, you
Mhm.
know, the swimwear, and then a black tank top. And you were freshly shaved, and like you smelled so nice. And it was so crazy to see you next to me after all those years. And I was driving, so I had to be like focusing on the road. But I kept looking at you when you were talking, and I was like, oh my god, he's so hot. And I'm like, oh, he's older. And wow, he speaks, his voice is so much more mature, and he actually can talk. Because like when we were together, we didn't talk that much. You were very different in high school. At least that's from my perspective. You know, we were just like having fun and joking and like enjoying those few days, not really on a serious note, even though we enjoyed each other. But I always felt like I can't really go deep with you, even back then. And then when you started talking in the car, I'm like, okay. And then I remember when we reached the lake, there was a moment when there was silence between us. And I remember my whole life, silence was my biggest fear. I learned very early at home that if my mom didn't speak to me and the apartment home would be silent, that meant something's wrong, something bad happened. And I translated it into my relationships. And so whenever I would feel like there's nothing to talk about with the person, I was like, oh, that's not my person. Okay, move on. It's a problem. It means we are not connected. Bye bye. And when this happened with you, I was like, oh, well, it's fine. We tried. And I felt embarrassed and I felt like, oh my God, how to get out of the situation. Oh my God, how long do I have to stay on this lake? And it was really, really like a threatening for me. And I started
And
to
how long did this whole situation take? Like 15, 20 seconds?
2 minutes, I think.
Uh,
But in those
two
2 minutes,
minutes, like when you say that it's gonna take you 2 minutes to get dressed and prepare yourself to get out, or 2 minutes, like when you say 1 second, I'm gonna
are
get
we,
something.
are we inviting my time
No,
inability
I just really want, because
into this conversation?
I don't recall this part. For
Yeah,
me,
of
like
course.
I
For you,
don't.
silence is fine.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
for like, but obviously, like I wanna, like since I didn't see you for 12 years, obviously I wanted to speak with you. So it's not like, but yeah, I mean, it's possible that sometimes, and especially if you're in a lake, yeah, like you are enjoying the nature and like the water and like looking
Well,
around.
if you're a
There was
normal
a music. There
person,
was a music, if you remember.
yeah, but this was on the other side. Back
Yeah,
then,
it
we were
does.
still.
Yeah, but like we can listen to it, and it was just like there were many things. It wasn't like we were sitting in a restaurant looking to each other's eyes on a date and had nothing to say.
Yeah.
Like this was more like, for me it was like chill, like it's like if you are outside with the friends, like it's not like you need to have a conversation all the time, right? You just chill, like you're there.
Well, this
So
is your
that's why,
perspective.
yeah, so that's why I just wanted to know like how long like this silence that you are talking about took, because from what you are saying it feels like 2 hours, but I feel like
It
it's
felt
gonna be
like 2 weeks, but it was actually
it was
maybe
less
like
than
a
minute. So
minute.
that's
Uh
why
huh.
I'm just wondering.
Yeah, and it's fascinating how two people can see the same situation so differently. For
Obviously,
you, you probably didn't even notice, and for me,
it's not even two people. I think it's every person sees things
yeah,
differently than
yeah,
another.
all the stories in our minds can judge the same situation so differently, which is literally the story of our relationship and life and all the wisdom and learnings that we basically learned together ever since then. And so yeah, I was so quick to judge and I was scared and I was like, okay. And just mind you, I wasn't looking for a relationship, I didn't even think about it. Like I broke up in like January and I was like, okay, like I'm done. And also my last relationship was, even though amazing with the amazing guy, but our culture was so different. I really lost myself in that relationship. I even started to dress and cover myself up just to like please that person because he was like Muslim Arab, and so yeah, I this was the actually something I just recently resolved. Remember when I said that my whole life I realized I have been people pleasing and I have been shape-shifting myself into someone who will be loved. And the last relationship before you was like the peak of this
Story.
pattern of mine. And I remember I was doing it with you as well. But we will get there later. I think this could be even 2 episodes, or many, honestly. And so looking back, it's really interesting how I was so quick to create definite story about something, and just I was willing to let it all go. Yeah, but then we started talking again. We started to have fun. Then your friends came. We started to be more at ease, and I think the moment I realized that we are really that I like you and that we are similar and this could actually work.
But you said you liked me already in the car.
I did, but it was the looks and it was the things. But I was like micro scanning for like the little cues and stuff. Very analytical mind was on. And so remember when our friends got beer and they sat down overlooking some.
We all did. Like we all did.
But
get beer,
okay,
we
so
all
but
sat
then they
down.
left, and all the people they left, and we moved to the little road, and all the people were facing like the lake and whatever, and you and me, we sat completely 180 degrees on the other side, that nobody was looking that way because there was trees and mountains, and we both were like, oh, this view. You missed it in Prague, and I missed it in Dubai, and I'm like, dude, it's so beautiful, and you're like, yeah. I love nature. And I'm like, oh, something we have in common. Okay, check.
But I remember that you said before, like when we were speaking about this, that even when we were still with the friends and we got that beer that you were talking about, and we were a little bit in different location, but the same lake.
Yeah.
And we were looking on different mountain and just like nature, and it was really beautiful. And I remember that somebody says that, okay, let's go back to our hometown from the lake and let's have a beers in the city, because it was Friday evening or Friday afternoon, you know. And they were saying things like this, and I remember that I said that, like, like, why would you want to go there, like, if you can have beer here and you can look at this beautiful view and you can be in nature and not being closed in a pub or like being outside in a in a square, just like. So I was like, why would you want to leave this? This is like million times better, than being in the town and just like having beer there,
Yeah.
and you have friends here and you have everything that you need. So I remember that that's the moment that you mentioned before when we were speaking.
Yeah, because it showed that we have, similar value, which is the love for nature and just being outside and enjoying this beautiful earth.
Yeah, and it's interesting because I think it started for me about that time.
Really?
The
because, appreciation for nature?
Yeah, because, I guess I always had a lot of nature around me, so I was never like really seeking it, even though I grew up in like apartment, and then until my 18th, let's say, or even later, like until we went to Bali when I was like 30. So I was always living in an apartment, but I had 2 grandmas that had houses, and one of those I spent every weekend basically at, since I was a kid until the end of high school. So I was always kind of balancing it with being outside and being in the nature and going to the woods, and even during the winter time we always somehow went outside and do stuff. So it was never for me like something I would be missing in a way that I would be like really like seeking it, that it would be dragging me to the nature. Like more, actually, it was dragging me into cities.
Yeah.
Like when I went to New York, like it was absolutely incredible experience for me. And then I ended up going there another 4 summers. And then I felt like, I don't know, like I didn't felt like really good in Slovakia. So I went to Prague and I felt amazing there. And again, it was a big city, but I even there, maybe it started there because I always enjoyed being in a park, right? And I always enjoyed being in the nature, and I always like to go to these places, but at the same time I really loved that I'm in the city. So it was like more taking me to the city, but at the same time I was always balancing it with the nature, But then, when I'm thinking about it, like I left Prague because I wanted to be more in nature, right? During Corona, that's how I started
So
like
once you
speaking. And since that point, basically, I haven't been living in a big city, and
yeah
I don't ever want to be honest. Like I would
yeah
visit, like I would go to New York again for sure,
yeah
even for a month or so. But like it's not something that I would like to stay at long term. And before I was really seeking those places. So yeah, I think that's about the time when it started to shift for me, and then we ended up in Bali, and then like since then I
but don't
know.
don't go that far.
Yeah, but I just want to say, like, since that time, like I just fell in love with nature so much, and now I literally know that I need it like every day, and
Yeah.
it's my most preferable, environment to be at, to as much nature as
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah. For me, it was different because I was 6 years in Dubai, which is basically like a man-made sand pit where you don't really have a blue sky, clouds, birds, and trees, right? Only in the golf course areas, which I actually had my apartment last 2 years. But like that's when I realized that I really miss nature, and I kept going only home. And then I went to Thailand, but like I was going home every 3 months just to enjoy the nature and the blue sky and like the real environment. It didn't feel real in Dubai. So for me, I was literally seeking it because I was or life led me into the place where I knew I wouldn't be for forever, because this is exactly what I realized that I need and I miss. So for me, it was like really a necessity. Even though I wasn't making active effort to leave Dubai, even though it happened when it was meant to,
But I think
so
you also went home because of your parents, right? Like you were really close with them, and
but I had nothing to do in Dubai. That's the difference between us. I had no work, and I also moved out of my apartment.
No, I mean, like you said that you were going
Oh
home every
yeah,
3 months
yeah,
because of the nature,
yeah,
but I
because
think
of my
mostly
parents.
you were going because of your parents, right?
Yes, yes,
Yeah, and for the nature.
for the nature, and then when we were at this lake and we
Mm-hmm.
both focused on the same thing, I was
Mm-hmm.
like, that's my big value.
Yeah.
I like that you like
So
it.
that connected us
That
from your
yes,
point.
yeah. From my that's
Yeah.
when I softened and I
Uh-huh.
opened my door
Mm-hmm.
to you, and then I started to do funny things in the lake with you. And
You were doing funny things since
oh
the
no, then you
car.
touched my pinky. Then you
Yeah.
touched my pinky because you saw it in where Californication.
Yes.
Who did it? So there's this show,
I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Californication, and there was a guy with a girl on a date.
And actually, she did it to him, and they were not on the date. It was just like, I guess she tried to take his attention, and I really like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
She
what I
kind of
did to
like
you.
touched a little bit the pinky from both sides, like the top of the pinky, or like from sides of the nail.
Yeah,
And you did
it's
that
kind of
to
like when
me.
you are touching a nipple. That's how it
Fool.
that's how it is.
Yeah, so that's what you did, and I
Yeah.
was like, oh, it was our like, yeah, that's when you were like knocking on my door. And then what we did was that we went back and we enjoyed that time overall. It was like few hours there, alone, then with your friends, then alone. That we were like, you know what? Let's go both home, then change. I went to my home, you went to your home, and let's change and let's go for dinner because we were hungry.
Yeah.
That's when these 9 days started, when we would just talk like 17 hours per day. We couldn't say goodbye. We were just like all the time together, spending the days together with the dog as well, with the little puppy. Because I told my mom I would raise him and help her, while I'm home.
But also, he was not with us all the time.
Mm-mm.
No.
Well, once I
And
gave
also,
him
it
to.
wasn't 17 hours, but maybe like 10. But
No. Dude, we would wake up
yeah.
and we would be until like 3 a.m. I remember we would.
No.
Oh my God.
3 a.m.
I remember. It was very emotional
Okay.
times. And when I have emotions, I remember shit.
Okay.
That's why I remember everything in my life almost. Anyways.
But yeah, it was incredible 9 days for me.
Yeah.
Like it felt so like nothing mattered at
Yes.
that point. Like for me, just to be with you and just to just to talk was like
Getting
the
to know each
only,
other.
yeah, it was just like the only
Speak
thing
about our
on
dreams.
like that I was interested in doing
Yes,
at that
yes.
time.
It was like a tunnel vision for
yeah,
each
like
other.
everything
Mhm.
stopped. Like everything
Yes.
else, what I was
Yeah.
doing, I was still working out though, like every day.
Really?
Because I was doing this
Oh yeah,
program
and I
with
would go
Feki.
there with the puppy, and I would
Yeah,
just sit there and
yeah,
do
but not
nothing.
always. But also
No.
not always. Only Thursdays were like no working out. But like other than that, like I used to
Like days
every
off?
day. Yeah, like days off.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, like I literally like did nothing. I was just with you the whole day, and it felt the same. Like basically in
Oh
high school
yes,
for me.
yes.
Like it
We
felt
also
just
spent whole
like
days at that point.
and there was like nothing else. It was just like
Yeah.
being in
Yeah.
some kind of euphoria or something, and just
Yeah.
like it was incredible.
And I'm just gonna say, like, maybe this could be too much information for someone, but I had period that whole week, so we couldn't really do stuff, and that's why we kept talking a lot. I guess kind of like we not couldn't do, but I chose not to, and it was like first week that we would really just do nothing really physical. We would just like really get to know each other on another level. And I believe it was all orchestrated in a way that we first get to know each other again after those years, and then we can go crazy for the next years. Yeah, and I would actually, do you have something else to say to this? Because I think
I
this
don't
is
know. I
like,
feel like it's too much information.
yeah, let's see if I put it there, but I think it's enough. It's okay. Look, my number one value is authenticity and truth. And I think it's important information from my perspective. So I'm just going to keep it there. But thank you so much for your opinion. It's my podcast, by the way.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
problem. I'm just like, you ask me if I want
Yeah.
to say something, and
Okay.
I'm not saying to take it out. I'm just saying how
Yeah.
I feel. And
Yeah. Thank you. So I would actually end this episode here. I didn't know it would take us so long, but I guess that's what it wants to be. And this is part one. Take this as a part
or
one
maybe
of our
it's gonna be
story.
part 1 and 2. So
Part 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever.
no. This one maybe I would even make it half. To be honest,
No,
I think
no.
it's too much to.
Baby, I'm not gonna judge it. This is what wants to happen. I
I
don't
know, but you can make 2 episodes out of this, right?
No, because there is not a clear beginning and clear end. It's okay. This is good.
Okay.
And so we will continue in another episode. So right now we went through how we met in high school in 2009 when we were 16 and 18 until the day that we went for our first kind of date in 2020, July 10th.
And then we said something about the next 9 days or however many.
Yes. But also we forgot to say that we went dancing and had our first kiss at 4 or 5 a.m.
No, we actually kissed before in
We
the
kissed,
restaurant.
yes, when Matush passed by.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's so nice to go back there in the mind. I'm like there. And then basically the rest is history, which we will talk about. I'm just gonna be like a little teaser. After those 9 days, we decided to go for a road trip to Croatia. That's when we realized that's how we want to live on the islands. That's when we realized that we need to create business to support us. And within 6 months, we moved to Bali because the business was successful from month
But
1.
it's not the teaser; it's the entire story.
No, it's just a shortcut
It is
into.
the entire story, baby.
No, it could be if you don't want to have more information, but I make it super interesting and juicy. So if you want to know more about the rest of the years, then tune in to the other episode, to the second part 2, and then let's see if the part 2 will be part 3 and blah, blah, blah. Yes, so thank you so much for listening. If you made it here, then congratulations. Tomash is really interested in why people would care. And also,
Yeah, that's a good point.
yeah,
I just want to know if somebody actually likes to listen to this, or if they don't, then yeah, I don't know. Like for me, like I would be really surprised that
Yeah.
somebody actually wants to listen to this and that they care and that they like it and they would like to even hear more. So if there's
Yeah.
any way how you can get us some feedback, if you
yeah, well,
feel
this
like,
will be
that would
posted on
amazing.
YouTube, and I hear in every podcast that you can like comment on the podcast and rate it. I never figured out how to do that, but if you know how to do it, please do that. And you can comment if you really listen and what you think about what we spoke about. Because I will be honest with you, my journey from 2018 when I started kind of doing podcasts or YouTube until now, 2026, has really put me into the place where I do it more for myself than for results or having people listen to it. So I kind of detach from what's going to happen with this. I'm just enjoying the process of it. I'm enjoying speaking about it. I'm going to enjoy editing it and posting it. And then whatever happens to it, it happens, you know? And so that's why for me, I don't even really care if somebody listens to this, but if someone does and they enjoy it, amazing. If nobody does, amazing. What for me matters the most is that we had a great chat and I felt amazing, and I'm spending my present moment the way that makes me happy.
Yeah, same. But
Yeah.
if you did listen to it,
Yeah. But if you
and
did,
if you have anything to say about that for me, because I'm just
curious,
interested.
yeah.
I don't care like whatever you have to say. Like I'm interested in that.
Yeah.
Even if it's negative or positive, but I just wanna like
Yeah.
genuinely know.
Yeah,
like,
let him
like,
know in the
what
comments.
like if this is something that you would actually, because I would never record something like this alone.
Yeah.
And but
Yeah, we're
it's
very
nice
opposite
to do
actually
it
in
with
this.
Martina. So
Yeah.
yeah, so I
And
would
thank
be
you,
interested in
baby.
knowing. Yeah,
Thank you, baby, for, you know.
yeah, I like it. It's nice to talk and remember all things.
Yeah.
Like that's basically what we've been doing those 9 days after the first date, right?
Mm-hmm.
We've been talking about all of our experiences in life.
Yeah. Yeah, so thank you guys
Thank you.
for listening. Have a beautiful day, beautiful evening, good night, wherever you are in the world. And subscribe, follow, and I don't know what else you do in podcasts. I still have to figure that
Or
out.
don't if you don't feel like.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Don't, but I invite you to, Okay, guys.
But if you like it, why not?
Bye.
Bye.